Hey guys, EDDBUD here, and it's about that time for another running shoe yay or nay. Okay, so first shoe up on today's show. It comes from Nike, and it's only just been released over in Asia. It's the Vomero 15. So a surprise Korean launch of this shoe. It incorporates some of that precious Zoom X foam that Nike are able to mine from somewhere. It's a precious material, you know. They've incorporated it into the heel of the midsole, and there's also quite a considerable plastic clip there around the back of the heel, adding a little structural stabilization and enhancement. That counter around the heel looks vastly more padded than the previous version. The Vomero's not a shoe that I've tried out, but I'm not sure I need that huge amount of padding there. I like my padding to stay inside those teddy bears. I seem to be favouring those stripped down running shoes right now, with a little less there in the padding and less in the upper and the midsole, and maybe I'll just run barefoot. Certainly not a nimble offering, this one. It does look like a bit of a beefcake. The outsole on this one, from a profile perspective, does seem to mimic the Tempo Next Percent a little bit. Very narrow there in the arch. A little wider surface area in terms of midfoot and forefoot. More React in a daily shoes, probably not something I need right now. I think they've incorporated a forefoot Zoom airbag into the Vomero 15. I didn't really get on with that in the Peg 37. I know lots of other people did though. Is that fly wires there or lace loops I can see? Maybe both. Not too sure I'll go for this one. Not sure it's something that I really need in my running rotation. Nike daily offerings are a little hit or miss at the moment for me. I think it's going to be a nay for the Vomero 15. It's joy to the world as Reebok quietly launched their new Floatride Energy 3. I was a big fan of the Energy 2, and so were you. Loads of people picked this one up, super cheap as well. Great shoe, daily use, fantastic, can't go wrong. Though from the information on the Reebok site, there really isn't much to go on here in terms of what's changed. We need hard facts, Reebok. But certainly a different looking shoe here. A lighter weight mesh has been tailored for the upper, and the Will Ferrell-like elf heel flare at the back of the shoe is a real welcome seasonal warmer. It took me about 50 attempts to say that. There's a more protrusion-filled carbon rubber outsole here. Hopefully it will greet the floor with a bit more stability than if you went ice skating. The Floatride foam in the midsole seems to be sculpted a little bit as well, maybe by Reebok's midsole elves. I think good old Reebok have used a few hints from their Summitros model here, which is no bad thing really. Definitely seems to be a bit more midsole on show. Yeah, there's definitely a little bit more midsole going on there in the new version. An un-Grinch-like price as well of 75 Earth credits, pounds, which means you be Christmas crackers to pass it up. Maybe. Hopefully good old Saint Nick will place a pair underneath my Christmas tree. I think this will be a yay for me. If you're enjoying the video today guys, and you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button and click the bell below for notifications of when I launch those new videos. We're talking Saucony next. Doesn't get any more colourful than that. Lots of people have been getting very excited about some leaked images of Saucony's trail shoe, the Endorphin Trail. It's got Power Run PB, so you're good to go. Of course, as per the Endorphin Pro and the Speed. Also, a typical 4mm offset that we're all very used to by now, running in those shoes most of the year. I think it will feel relatively familiar on foot to those that have run in the Pro or the Speed. My eagle eye spotted a listed weight of 295 grams for that US size 8.5. That's 10.4 ounces, so it's a little bit more on the considerable side. The Endorphin Trail's been eating a bit of that meatloaf. Maybe some white chocolate cookies as well. Washed down with a couple of tall glasses of original Coca-Cola. Now, certainly a considerable weight when you pair it up against my favourite trail shoe, the Innovate Terra Ultra G270. That one's as light as a feather. This one's more the weight of beast. That's a lot of cat actually. There's a lot of cat. There's some considerable lugs here. I'm liking the looks of those. And a more robust structured upper than we find on the Saucony Endorphin Pro or the Speed. No idea of a price here, but I bet it will be fairly considerable as well. I think it's probably a great option, very exciting one for those that spend a bit more time on the trails than me. But I'm far too scared of the squirrels and the other wildlife that live out there. They always chase me. Although I do remember Andy, the FOD runner, getting chased by some wild boar. That might be quite exciting. I think until I get a little bit more information on this one in terms of price, it's probably going to be a nay for the moment on the Endorphin Trail. When the end of January or February 2021, which is going to be like the best year ever I'm telling you now. Rolls around, there's another trail shoe with a plate built in. Not perhaps a name that's on everybody's lips, but the North Face will be releasing their first carbon plate trail shoe. And apparently it's going to be under 200 American credits. So we've seen Nike release a carbon plate trail shoe recently. I don't think Seth D'Amour was particularly won over by that one though. It did seem a bit of an excuse to put a carbon fibre plate into a trail shoe. I'm not entirely sure it worked. And of course you got that Endorphin trail that we just talked about as well. So the North Face have formed a specialised development group just focusing on trail running this time so they can get the absolute best prototypes done. I think they've been working on it for a couple of years. Looks like they've done some extensive prototyping and testing, and it could be quite interesting to see a new manufacturer that's not really that well known for shoes hitting the market. Could cause a bit of a stir. There does appear to be a considerable rocker design on this one. Did remind me a little bit of that Glide Ride and the Meta Racer in terms of the curve in the forefoot. And the lugs don't seem to be as prominent perhaps as the ones featured on that Saucony Endorphin trail. Again, I think I need more details on this shoe. Perhaps the type of midsole foam that's used. Is it just a standard type shaped plate? We just don't know yet. So for the time being, on the flight to Vective from the North Face, I think I'm going to say it's probably a no. I'm not convinced that a carbon fibre plate trail shoe is the way forward yet. I think we need a little more information on this, guys. That's all of the selected footwear on the Running Shoe Yea or Nay for today. Let me know what your opinions are on the 4 shoes down in the comments. A musical interlude for you. There's some really weird Christmas songs that have been released in the UK over the years. One of my favourites from 1973 is by the band Mud, and it's called Lonely This Christmas. I used to really enjoy playing this one with my band. You can do a pretty decent version of it just with drums, bass and guitar, main vocals. I used to love watching the video of Mud performing this one in those bonkers suits. And I always remember the lead singer had these ginormous sunglasses as well. Of course that he was wearing indoors, because that's what you got to do. I always remember the lead guitar player as well appeared to be wearing massive earrings as well. It's absolutely bizarre. Do go and check out this one, guys, if perhaps you aren't experienced with it, if you're perhaps over in Europe or in America and you're not aware of this group. The band's called Mud and the track's called Lonely This Christmas. Okay, it's time for me to get some much needed R&R and eat some more of those white chocolate cookies that are downstairs. Of course, for recovery purposes only. I do appreciate you tuning in. If you are new to the channel and you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button and click the bell below for notifications of when we launch those new videos. It does help the channel out a huge amount too if you give this video a thumbs up like and share it with your running buddies. My name's EDDBUD and I'll be seeing you